Good morning. Good morning. You know what? I made this trade without you. I apologize that I made this SPY call credit spread without you. But I was actually watching a video on in the money covered calls while simultaneously trying to watch the S&P 500 with the SPY. Here's our ticker symbol SP and the Y. Currently up a buck 18, a buck 17. It's making some wild moves this morning. And I normally, based on my vast experience of 1 week trading the 0 days to expiration SPY trades, I normally will let the market play out until around 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Right now we're at 9:36 a.m. Wednesday, March 8th. And I thought I would just try to catch some action on the green side because look what it's been doing today. It's just big swings up and down. Now the last moves, the thesis is showing green, but my gut is telling me it may be. I think it's going to find a spot, maybe in probably around 400, between 399.50 and 450 for the day. But that's just essentially guesswork on my part with regard to what the S&P 500 is going to do today. There's still some fear out there. We got JP speaking today to the House, and they're going to throw their political curveballs and snowballs and rotten tomatoes at him to try to get him to say things to make the other side of the aisle look bad. It's just hokiness. So that's going to have pressure on the S&P today. As there was a big sell-off overall yesterday. What are we at today? See, the Dow is basically, as they say, unchanged, and we got the S&P is up about 1/3 of 1% right there, and it's battling back from some early droppage when that market opened up. So I went ahead and went on in for my first SPY trade of the day, and I was able to collect a $44 premium on 11 or on 4 contracts, so $11 per on $800 collateral. So for today, if that's the only trade on the SPY, if we take the $44 and divide it by 800, and this is a 1-day trade, that's 5.5% return on my money. So that is a decent amount of dollar bills on the return, because that's really, I'm looking for two things: cash flow and return on capital, and in this case, return on collateral. Now, if this trade goes against me, now I've collected the 44. There's nothing they can do about that. I'm already, putting it into Sparkle Barbie's Starbucks account. But this 800 then becomes a vulnerable on the table. So if we were to look at that trade, what's SPY doing right now? So it's had a couple of reds down, but it's still up. It's over 399. So right at this moment, okay, with those two big green candles up, it's going to show that my trade is negative dollar bills. So let's go back here, and it'll show that I'm in the negative dollar bills on that trade. Oh, it's showing even money right now. But if it continues to go up, okay, so if we go to, there it is, it's up $4 bills on that trade. So we must have had a little bit of red down. Yeah, there's a little red down. So we'll keep an eye on that today, but I wanted to just click through and get my thought process recorded, even though I had already made the trade. So, because what happens? Time keeps on slipping, dollar bills in my pocket. That's what's going on these types of trades, because it's 0 day to expiration. So in less than 6 hours, this trade expires. So if it is looking like it's going my way, then that theta, that time decay, start to pay me dollar bills right before our very eyes. If it begins to turn against me, which would be if the market continues to rally up green, and now it forces its way over 400 and over 401 and starts to approach 402 for the day, then I'll be in trouble over here because I'm sitting at 403. And if it pushes through that, I've got $200 worth of spread per contract, for contracts, so $800 vulnerable on the table. But again, in a small account trade, this could be made with a very small collateral. Like for instance, if I looked at trading the SPY again, like right now, say we took a position today on the put side, which we might, once the market finds itself. And if we go down here, say at under 10 delta, so it's a 0.09, and I look at delta as risk. The technical reality of the delta is for every dollar that this underlying asset, the SPY, moves, that's how much this trade would move, 10 cents. Okay, if that makes any sense. But I don't have a very well performing or good performing brain. It's very average at best. So I look at that as part of the probability, right? So if we take that 9%, there'd be a 10% chance that this trade would be vulnerable. So, but if we clicked through, just as an example, and we sold this put, because this is a credit spread, we want to leave this trade with money in our pocket. The opposite would be a debit spread, where we would pay to get into the trade with the hopes that the trade goes our way and we make way more dollar bills. So the potential returns on a debit spread is much greater than on a credit spread, because it's defined risk and it's defined reward, because you collect those dollar bills right from the start. So if we then went here and we just bought it $1 wide, so our risk would only be $100, right? So we would have $100, and that shows max loss at 94, because that's the reality, because you're putting $6 in your pocket now. But once you put the $6 in your pocket, then $100 will be up for grabs on the collateral. So you'd be able to make this trade with $100 collateral and potentially make 6% for the day, because $6 divided by $100 for the day is 6%. So that's what we'd be looking at. That's what we'd be looking at right there. But I will continue to watch this to see what we're thinking, as far as a put position today, if we're even going to take one, because, the one position we have, I'm pretty happy with right now, for show. So I wanted to get in on this, put this on the board. I'll get it uploaded AS and AP, just in case you want to take a look in real time or close to real time. But I'll be back. I got some more Wheel of Fortune ideas for you today. What are we going to do? We're going to spin the Wheel of Fortune. And I think I'm changing the name of the triple nipple. Lady Godiva didn't care a whole lot for that name, and because she's the most important person in my life, I will respect her opinion on that. I don't know if I care for it either. It's sure funny saying triple nipple, but it's really more of the Wheel of Fortune strategy, because it's based on the wheel strategy, but with a little bit more potential dollar bills, y'all. So we will be looking at that. So as this green, if it starts to trend more green down and it gets into my wheelhouse of like 10:30 a.m. and then starts to go sideways, we might look at a put position. Then we'll collect more or less premium, I would imagine. But that's okay if we're going to do that. But in the meantime, we'll get back into a Wheel of Fortune trade very soon, and I will see you in the next video.